It was when they were traversing the yellow brick road when Dorothy stopped. Anxious to see the wizard, the other three asked what was the hold-up, which Dorothy replied that she was tired. All three of the guys looked at Dorothy, who was indeed out of breath. They also noticed that Dorothy had a surprisingly short dress, perfectly revealing her sexy undergarments. The three looked at each other, each knowing what they all wanted. They all obliged to Dorothy's will, but not before the cowardly lion asked Dorothy if she wanted to do something fun, which she agreed to. Without hesitation, the lion whipped out his titanic dick right in front of everyone. Dorothy, bewildered by the penis, asked what's fun about that. All three then blew a sigh of relief, remembering that she was only 10, and probably had no idea what sex was. The lion then asked for Dorothy to lick the dick as if it was a lollipop. Dorothy tried this, and was delighted at how good it tasted. The lion then said that it would be more fun if he stuck it right in her pussy. Dorothy, though a bit hesitant, took off her dress and allowed the beast to hump her. "Oh my," said Dorothy, "this is quite fun." They went at it for several minutes until both of them came so hard that bodily fluids were just spewing everywhere. The scarecrow then said, "Oh, it's my turn to have fun." Dorothy said in a huffed voice, "Well, I guess, though this is only making me more tired." With that, the scarecrow drew out his cock, which was made of straw. Letting it enter into her mouth, Dorothy noticed that the texture was a bit rough, but allowed the scarecrow to enter her vagina. As predicted, the dick was rough, and when the scarecrow was done, Dorothy was rubbing her cunt, as it was both burning and a bit roughed up. The Tinman was net, and when he showed his dick, Dorothy screamed. The penis was a mess of bolts and uneven ridges. "You are not putting that inside me," screamed Dorothy, but the lion and scarecrow held her down, as the Tinman said, "Too fucking bad." Screaming and thrashing her legs, Dorothy tried to refuse the Tinman's rape, but he was too much, and not soon after, Tinman's metal dong started to hump the poor farmer girl. With each thrust, Dorothy's skin was scraped off, until blood started to seep out of her vagina. Each thrust made it worse, to the point where huge chunks of skins were being pulled apart, and blood started to flow. This continued for several minutes until the Tinman gave a huge roar, letting out oil that only caused the wounds in Dorothy's pussy to burn even more. When the three got up, they saw Dorothy, crying as her legs twitched, and her vagina was a mess of gore. With that, they left her to die of blood loss. It was a Sunday in the Super Smash Bros. Community when Peach, Zelda, and Samus decided to celebrate the new coming girls. They had set up a mini party with heavy shots of booze to prepare them for the main surprise, a giant steaming lesbian orgy. By 9, it wasn't long until each slut was heavily drunk. They had soon taken off all of their clothing, and started to pleasure one another. Zelda started to lick Wii Fit Trainer's tight anus, while Rosalina fisted Lucina and Samus at the same time. Robin was swift about pleasuring Palutina's big ass boobs, as the goddess fingered the tacticianist's amazingly small pussy. After a solid hour of repeated licking, fingering, thrusting of the arm, and schlicking, Robin was the first to moan in the air, signaling that she had come, and was soon followed by her fucking partner, Palutena. By then, everyone had been moaning, with the last being Wii Fit Trainer, who had also orgasmed the longest. When she finally finished, Zelda, who was still drunk off her mind, wobbled up and gazed upon each girl who was panting heavily, with pussy and anal juice splashed over every body, creating a luxurious glaze, and a shiny gloss over every tit, ass, and boobs. However, unsatisfied, Zelda asked if they wanted a round 2, which everyone immediately replied yes. There was a catch though. Zelda said she wanted to try something new, to which every girl obliged to. Without hesitation, Zelda cast a spell on everyone. At first, nothing happened. Then, Without warning, each girl had grown a massive throbbing dick. Samus, instantly ashamed, spoke out, but Zelda quickly got behind her, and shoved her giant penis up the bounty hunter's vagina, and her whole arm up her ass. She whispered in Samus's ear to stroke her giant dick while being fucked, to which Samus did, now noticing the massive benefit of having being tri-pleasured, before being fucked literally dumb. Viewing this anomaly, Wii Fit Trainer took the opportunity to get behind Lucina, and plow her anus using the newly gifted giant dick. Lucina screamed in pleasure, as her own massive penis instantly grew erect. Lucina cried out for Robin, as Miss Fit's giant whopper was simply too much for the team. However, as Robin stepped in to save her, she instead shoved her dick into Lucina's mouth, forcing her daughter to start sucking. The dick reached into Lucina's throat, as she had trouble gasping for air. Meanwhile, Rosalina and Peach started to jack each other off, before starting a 69. Palutena, who probably had the biggest dick out of all of them, forced Peach and Rosalina to scissor each other, thrusting her dick in between their penises, going back and forth before all three of them came so hard that the cum shot out like a volcano out of their vertically erect dicks. By then, Samus was just about finished, as her cum shot half into Zelda's face. Zelda also ejaculated into Samus's now destroyed vagina. Lucina, who had now been crying, was shaking uncontrollably, as Wii Fit Trainer filled her ass with semen, just as Robin gave a huge roar and came all over her daughter's mouth, so much that Lucina was forced to swallow half of it. Lucina, filled with her mother's semen, then laid flat on her stomach, as her own dick had released all its cum too. By now, each girl was laying in a giant pool of semen, all of which was mixed together. Just as Zelda was about to change everyone back, the ceiling cracked, then broke, as Link fell from above. It turned out, he had been watching the whole thing. Everyone's head turned to view the Hylian, who was squirming to get out, but constantly tripped on the cum that was all over the floor. Zelda looked at Link, and smiled. She then cast a spell on poor guy, which instantly gave him tits and a vagina, replacing his somewhat impressive penis. Link looked at his new body, and was embarrassed to find out that he was now a girl. However, he did not have much time to think before each of the girls, with all of their dicks now fully erect, surrounded Link, lick-smacking. It was Zelda who plunged her penis first into Link's new, impossibly tight pussy, while Palutena and Peach took the mouth and ass respectively. Then Samus joined Zelda in plunging Link's vagina, while Robin doubled the ass, and Lucina and Wii Fit Trainer shoved their dicks in Link's mouth. With all of them thrusting vigorously, it wasn't long until the now female hero had orgasmed, not once, not twice, but 8 times in a span of 10 minutes, but the fucking did not stop until the girls were finished, which took them about 3 hours of non-stop rape. When they did finish, all of them filled Link with buckets of semen, filling him up until he was practically spewing the stuff back out. However, Link had pretty much passed out 30 minutes in, to which he was probably in a coma by now. The girls, however, just had enough strength to walk to Peach's president's hotel room, leaving behind a trail of body fluids, leading up to a king-sized bed, on which they dragged Link onto, before jumping on themselves, instantly falling asleep. It wasn't long before they all reverted to their original bodies, with the giant dicks just seemingly disappearing. When Marth came by to close their door, he noticed Link in a deep sleep surrounded by all the Nintendo bitches, to which he said, "Lucky bastard." "Hey Germa," said Star, "wanna play some TF2? "Sure, why not," replied Germa. It was a bright day in the TF2 community when Star hosted a server that Germa gladly joined in. It wasn't long, however, before Germa soon became frustrated at Star, for he was continually being dominated. With frustration, Germa called Star a SPHE and left the server, but not before Star said, "This is going in the video, dude." Though Germa had left, Star continued to play TF2, until there was a knock on the door. When he went to open it, Star was a bit bewildered to see Germa, who still looked salty about his defeat. "What, come to fight me IRL?" said Star in a joking manner. But Germa did not reply. Instead, he grabbed Star's wrist, before he had any time for reaction, and bound him to his desktop. Star, in utter shock, demanded to know what Germa was doing, in which Germa replied, "Do you know what I do to Spies?" Immediately after, Germa stripped Star of his pants and underwear, to reveal his floppy dick. Germa then proceeded to suck on that dick, with Star being taken aback, his head now held back in the moment of his pleasuring. Germa then took Star's mouse and shoved it up his friend's ass, makeshifting a crude dildo out of it, and kindly massaged Star's anus with it. "Please, Germa, no," said Star, but Germa moved his mouth from Star's dick, and moved it onto Star's lips. Germa's free hand then started to jack off Star's dick, which wasn't long before it erupted with semen, with jizz spurting all over Germa's hand. "Maybe next time you oughta decide if it's worth becoming a spy," said Germa. Star could only look in utter confusion as in through the still open door, came Lord Gaben. Before he could turn around to see who it was, Gabe stripped Germa of everything, and proceeded to stuff his gigantic dick into Germa's ass, at the same time jacking him off. This continued for several hours, with Star just staring in utter bewilderment. After numerous hours, Gabe came into Germa's ass, which was just a gaping hole by the time it was all done, and placed the now unconscious body to the side, saying, "After 9 hours of pleasuring, I hope it was worth the rape."